Mobile Lab. This is BlueBrixx set 107469. It was released in June 2024 for about 150 euros. The set was designed by BlueBrixx designer Matteo and consists of 3,575 pieces, which are compatible to bricks by other brands like Lego, Kobe, Mega, and so on. This is a BlueBrixx special set, so unlike the Pro sets, it doesn't come with fancy packaging. We only got this rather boring brown box here, but I don't think that this is a problem. What's important is what's inside the box. And as you can see, inside the box we will find the pieces for this caravan here, this American RV. It's a 1986 Fleetwood bounder, how we could see it in the amazing TV series Breaking Bad. Of course, BlueBrixx doesn't have a license for this, and that's why we only get to see these random names here on the box. So, Mobiles Labor is German for mobile lab, and for some reason, other than the English title, the German title got a subtitle which says Amerikanischer Camper der 80er Jahre mit Sonderausstattung, which translates to American RV of the 80s with special configuration. When the series was released, I actually wasn't interested in that series. I thought, well, it's just a series about some drug dealers, and I'm really not interested in drug dealers and their lifestyle, and I thought I even wouldn't be interested in the music played in that series and so on, and so I just had zero interest in that series. But one of my friends was very much into that series, and after a while he also got the Blu-rays, and he simply talked me into watching it. He lent me his Blu-rays, and yeah, I didn't want to be a bad friend, so I watched the Blu-rays and I was immediately hooked. I binge-watched all the Blu-rays he gave me, I think for the first 3 seasons. And after that, I couldn't wait for the final 2 seasons. And when they were released, I also instantly binge-watched them. And since then, I really love this series. And so I'm looking forward to build the set here. As the set here comes in the scale 1:18. We already have seen several BlueBrixx vehicles in that scale, and yeah, I'm not sure if if 1:18 is really always the right scale. BlueBrixx says their sets are 1:18, but I think, as you can see here, that not all these vehicles can be in the scale 1:18. Some of those vehicles simply look too small or too big compared to other vehicles to be in the same scale. But I don't really care. I just want to have this vehicle in whatever scale, and I think it's going to be a quite huge set. 3,500 pieces, scale 1:18. Sounds good. Besides the set here, I also got this printed 1x2 tile here. It's supposed to be the license plate of this vehicle. You can see it says GRT 600. It's an American license plate, precisely a license plate from New Mexico, which was used from 1999 to 2010, I think. I paid for this license plate here 3 euros. You can create one yourself for free. You simply need a template of this license plate, without any text, which should be easily found online, and then simply put the letters and numbers GRT600 on it. If you don't want to create it yourself, you can also buy a MOC on Replicable. It was created by MOMAtteo79 in September 2018. I think maybe this is the same guy. MOMAtteo, so Matteo, and the guy from the set here is also called Matteo. Huh, strange. Well, there you can buy the instructions for his MOC, and with those instructions you will also get a license plate like this. Of course, you have to print it yourself or print a sticker. I ordered this print here, and I paid about, I think, €3 for this 1x2 plate here, this printed 1x2 plate. Alright, I think now it's time to open the box and get all the bags with the bricks out. I think I haven't built a set with that many unsorted bricks in quite a while. Wow. This is a BlueBrixx special set. And like it's the case with most of the special sets, it's also the case with this one here. The bricks don't come in numbered bags. The bricks are not pre-sorted to the individual building sections. There are no building sections. So what I'm going to do is to sort all the bricks by type. This will take, I fear, very much time, but it will help me later during the building process. Then it's way easier to find the necessary bricks for all those individual building steps. Another thing about the special sets is that they don't come with printed building instructions. We have to download a PDF file from the BlueBrixx website, and you can see here I have already done that. Well, as I said before, sorting all these bricks will take quite a lot of time, but luckily I got some company here. Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. These are original Lego minifigures with custom prints. I ordered them from MINIFIGS.me. That order was quite expensive. I paid about €34 for these minifigures, and yeah, of course they are also not in the correct scale. Our set is going to be in the scale 1:18 and not a minifigure scale, but nevertheless, I think these two guys look quite cool, even though there's a problem with the color. You can see the torsos come in another yellow than the legs. That's a bit sad for such an expensive price, but I'm still glad to have them. Alright, then I'm going to start now with sorting the bricks, and after that I will start with step 1 in the instructions. I will come back to you as soon as I see something strange or something simply doesn't work as shown in the instructions. Step 26. So far we have built this huge part of the substructure of the vehicle. And what we want to do now is to reverse the building direction. When we only use standard Lego bricks, it's not always so easy because we have to use special techniques to reverse the building direction. But this set here comes with special pieces which, at least as far as I know, Lego doesn't use. I showed you these pieces also in other videos about BlueBrixx sets before, I think. As you can see, This plate here comes with studs on both sides, so we can simply interlock it on this huge 10 plate here, and we are still able now to interlock something on the other side like this. That's cool. It's a very easy way to invert the building direction. Another thing I want to talk about is this plate here that I just mentioned. You can see it looks slightly bent. The plate is totally fine, but I think due to interlocking several layers of plates with each other, there is just too much tension. And yeah, this makes the whole thing slightly bent. But I'm quite optimistic that once we have completed our vehicle, that there's so much weight on this plate here that it should be flat once again. Step 93. In this step we have to place, besides other pieces, these two 2x3 tiles in medium nougat, as it says down here. My problem is that I'm very bad in colors. Is this medium nougat or this? I guess this is dark orange, so these should be the pieces I have to place here. Let's hope if those are not the right pieces that it will be easy to replace them in a later step. Step 119. We are building the vehicle's engine. And yeah, we are doing this with the help of tabs and brick modified. So we got here a 1x4 brick modified, and also on this side. And to the studs on the side of that brick modified, we add the tabs. But it isn't so easy to do, because you can see down here that this stick part of the tab goes between the studs of the plate below, like shown in the instructions. And this isn't so easy to do, because there is not much space to adjust these things, and you have to place them at the same time between studs and attach them to the side, and this simply doesn't work so well. And you can also see that there isn't too much space between the studs. I think down here it works better. Oh no, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm not even sure if this is a legal building technique. You can see that there is a bit pressure when I put this piece between studs. It doesn't even go between the studs. Yeah, we can't really place them between the studs. It doesn't go all the way in. You can see it stops here. Or when I do it from the other side, it stops here. So we have to place it slightly sideways. It can't be done like shown in the instructions. It's an illegal building technique. Huh. Well, what helped me a lot is, what I did is that I placed it like this sideways to, oh, you can't see it, sideways next to the studs, and then with the help of a brick separator I hold it in that position, and at the same time I pushed it on the stud here. Step 121. We have added this fan here to the engine, and it looks fine, but luckily this is not a LEGO Technic set, because have a look, we can't spin the fan. It's blocked by that brick down here. But luckily it doesn't have to spin, it's only there to look nice. Step 155. It looks like we are building one of the bumpers at the moment. And I think this 1x2 tile here is supposed to be the license plate. Which means I'm not going to add this white 1x2 tile, but the printed tile I got. How is it placed? Yeah, we are supposed to leave a little gap between the indicator and the license plate, like this. Ha, great. Step 181. At the moment we are working on the driver's cabin, and yeah, we just have placed the pedals for brake and throttle. And I really like how these pedals are implemented. So you can see here that we have interlocked this piece here. It's also there. I think it's, how do you call this? I don't know if this has a special name. It's just a bar with attached 1x1 round plate. We have interlocked this piece with a brick modified, and then we simply can add on top of these pieces these slopes. So we got here this grill slope for throttle, and for the brake we used this normal 1x1 slope. Step 210. I just have assembled this door here, and as far as I can say, I have done everything correctly. But have a look here, the door closes not so easily. We have to push quite hard to close it. You can even hear it. I think it's because of this and this here. You can see there's more material than at the rest of the edge of this door, and that just makes it harder to close. It bends slightly until the door shuts. BlueBrixx used to have these very loose doors, and yeah, the whole thing was so floppy. And this year is way better. Those floppy doors were awful. This year is okay, but it isn't perfect. Step 289. We are building the driver's cabin's chairs, and you can see that for those chairs we need 4 of these rail plates. The chairs are identical, and here are the building steps for one of those chairs, and you can see that we need 1 of those rail plates here. When we build this 2 times, it means that we need 2 rail plates. But where are the other 2? Well, I think that actually we need 2 rail plates per seat. The other one is just invisible, so it's on the opposite side, here on that side. You can see that I already have built such a chair, and here's our rail piece, but on this side there isn't any. And here I have built a second one, and I have placed the second rail piece on the opposite side. And I think this makes sense because you can see here that we have to slide in the chair like this. And this doesn't work so well if there's only 1 rail piece. So let's add the other rail plate here, and then we can slide in the chair. Step 320. Our build looks like this at the moment, and you can see that this is going to be quite a huge build. Have a look here, those are the minifigures for comparison. And you can also see that we are working at the interior right now. And yeah, we are adding a lot of stuff which you need to cook some crystal meth. And one of the pieces which we are adding is this syringe here, which I haven't seen before. At least I can't remember. This piece was introduced by LEGO in 2010, and between 2010 and 2021 it appeared in over 60 sets. Step 335. In this step we have to place 2 red chains. This might not sound like a problem, but stupidly many BlueBrixx sets don't come with pre-assembled chains. And yeah, it's also the case with this set. We have to assemble the chains ourselves. And this is a bit problematic because these chain links here are a bit fragile. Once we have assembled a chain, everything is totally fine, then the chains are not fragile any longer. But to assemble the chains, we have to spread these chain links open a bit. And when we do this, it can happen quite fast that we see some tension marks, some white tension marks on the opposite side of this opening here. And it might also be possible that the links simply break, so we really have to pay attention. Step 363. We are building a lot of chemistry stuff right now. You can see that we have built several of these laboratory flasks, and on top of these flasks we put these things here, these perpendicular connectors for bars, I think. And yeah, I haven't seen these pieces before, but they are not new. LEGO uses them since 2011, and so far they have appeared in 325 sets. For step 364, we need 5 of these hoses here. When we have a look at the instructions, it looks like they are pre-assembled, but they aren't. We have to assemble them ourselves. Step 370. It seems that we are building the rear bumper right now, and I did a little mistake several steps before. You remember that I placed the license plate on the front bumper? Of course, in New Mexico, you don't need license plates on the front. You have them on the back. So, let's place the license plate on the back. And this white empty tile here on the front bumper. That's better. Step 412. We are building one of the caravan's mirrors, and I think the building technique for this mirror is quite interesting. We need this tool here for the mirror, and as you can see, it's still connected to a lot of other tools, and as far as I can see right now, we are only going to use one of these tools here, only this tool, and it seems that all the other tools are for free. Alright, then let's remove this tool here and connect it with the other pieces. Step 452. At the moment we are building curtains. You can see here that We already have placed a lot of curtains, but the window back here is still missing the curtains. So I'm going to remove this, that we can get easier to the window. And here you can see that I already have built the curtains like shown in the instructions. According to the instructions, we use a 6.6 L bar and a 4 L bar, and we connect these two bars via this Technic pin here. The whole thing looks like this, and this is exactly what I've done here. The problem now is that when we place it where it should go, that it doesn't fit there. Have a look here. At the right, the bar is way too long. Well, what to do? When we look at the instructions once again, we can see that the bar here looks differently to the bar we have used for the other curtains. So I guess maybe this isn't supposed to be a 6.6 L bar, but a 6 L bar, which would be this. It's a bit shorter. And maybe, I'm not really sure, we shouldn't have used a 4 L bar on the right side, but only a 3 L bar. But I will test it now with the 6 L bar, and if it's still too long, I will also use the 3 L bar. Alright, I simply had to replace the 6.6 L bar with the 6 L bar, and that did the job. Now everything looks right. I didn't have to replace the 4 L bar with the 3 L bar. Step 466. I have never built a Lego train. Only as a kid I have played with friends' Lego trains, but I have never built one myself. And so it's also the first time that I stumble upon a train window. Well, I have seen those windows before, but I have never used them myself so far. This train window here was used by the Lego company from 1980 to 2011 and appeared in 32 sets. Step 509. Look, we also got pre-assembled chains, not only those chains which we have to assemble ourselves. Step 515. Some of the pieces we need for the step are these panels here. And have a look at this. I can't find any differences between this panel and this panel. Those are all 1x4 panels, and they are exactly the same. I think that's an error in the instructions. They simply should have written that we need 3 of those panels and not 2 and 1 of the same panel. Step 559. In this step we have to cut this tube here to a length of 5.6 centimeters. And this is something I'm not really a fan of. I have done this with some MOCs, I think, but it's the first time that I have to do something like this in a BlueBrixx set. Step 605. Once again, I stumbled upon a piece which I haven't seen before. This friction cylinder here. It looks a bit like a bazooka. Lego introduced this piece in 2010, and so far it appeared in almost 100 Lego sets. Step 612. In this step we have to use 5 of these tiles here, and when looking at this image down here, it's quite obvious that those tiles are supposed to be 1x8 tiles. I can see here, when I place such a tile here, 4 studs are still uncovered, 4 studs would be covered, and of this plate here also 4 studs would be covered. It just looks like in the instructions. But when we have a look up here, this little box says that the tile is supposed to be 6.6 L, and this can't be correct. This bar here is 6.6 L, and it is obviously significantly shorter than the tile which we are going to use. Step 653. We are quite far with our build. It looks almost complete, but there are still about 50 steps to do, I think. And at the moment, we are building the front part here with the windscreen. And to be precise, we are adding the wipers at the moment. And I really like the building technique of these wipers. You can see that we have used this tool here, a clip thing, and a rifle. And with only these 3 pieces, we can create a wiper. Step 656. We have almost completed our vehicle. There are only some pieces on the underside missing, and of course the roof is missing. And the roof is what we are going to build now, and you can see it's going to be quite huge. We need a lot of plates for this. And have a look at how many tiles we are going to place in this single step. This huge pile of 2x6 tiles, those are, I think, yeah. We are going to place 45 of these 2x6 tiles in just this single step. Okay, it seems that in the previous step I didn't count correctly. We only need 9 of these plates, and for some reason I have placed 10, which means this one here is left over for now. But what's also left over in this step here is this 2x6 tile. We were supposed to place 45 of them, but I could only place 44. And here it clearly says 45, but I can't find where the 45th one is placed. I guess it's an error. Step 677. In this step, and I think also in the following steps, we have to add some stuff on the underside of the vehicle, which normally means that we have to turn it upside down, or at least on its side, as shown here in the instructions. But I don't think I'm going to do this, because we have added stuff on all the sides and I think they simply will fall off. Our build it's not really fragile, but it's too fragile to put it on its sides and stuff like that, because there are too many details which, yeah, simply are not that sturdy. So what I'm going to do now is that I will slide the build slightly off the table like this, and yeah, then I can work from below like this. At least I think so. It should work when I use 2 hands. I stand corrected. It is possible to turn the vehicle on its side without bigger damage. But nevertheless, it's not a joy to work on the underside of this vehicle here. Step 700. We just have built 2 chairs. So here's one and here is another one. And as you can see, they are folded. If you want to unfold them to be able to sit on them, you do it like this. This here is the backrest, I guess. And we also have to fold down the legs. Et voila, we got a chair. What we want to do now is to store the chairs in the vehicle behind this hatch here. To do this, we have to fold them again. I think it looks like this, when I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And now we can put them on top of each other and put them in here. You have to be very precise with this, or not really precise, but there is only more or less one way that they fit in there. You have to fold them correctly and put them on top of each other the right way. But when we have done that, we have completed step 701, and this means we also have completed our build. The model that we have built here really is huge and heavy. Here once again we got the minifigures for scale, and you can see that they got the size of the tires. This build just is huge, it's amazing. And the vehicle just looks like in the TV series. It's definitely the Breaking Bad RV. The colors are the same, the shape is the same. It just looks like in the TV series. So this is really a cool model. Let's see what kind of details we can recognize on this model here. So you see that there are a lot of hatches on the side. Let's open them. I'm not so good with RV knowledge. I don't know what we find behind all those hatches. I guess this is just some empty storage room. Then let's open the second hatch. I don't know, what is this? Can we zoom in? Here it's a bucket or something. That's just more empty storage room where only a bucket is placed. Here is a hatch in another color, and this might be some plumbing stuff or whatever, or maybe here you connect the RV with the city water or whatever, I don't know. As far as I know, this is the backside of the fridge, and down here this is for gas. On the other side there's the oven, and yeah, you when you cook, you have to handle with gas, and I guess that's maybe some kind of exhaust or something like that. Here, another hatch. Yeah, that's empty. And this little one here is also empty, I think. Yeah. Here we got the door. Let's open it, and then we can have a look inside the vehicle. Another hatch. Oops. Let's just repair that real quick. All right. Well, let's open it. And down here we find the chairs which we were talking about during or at the end of the building process. They are folded, and we just can unfold them. Like this. get him out of the way now. Oh, and I forgot to mention the stairs down here. Those look quite cool. And the building technique for the lower part of the stairs for those two was quite interesting. We could slide them in there. You can see here that we used this, rail system. So here we got an awning which we can slide out, but we will talk about this later. Let's have a look at the other side now, or at the front. Oh, and here we of course got a mirror. And there's of course no door. You have to enter the vehicle even as driver through that only door here behind the driver's cabin. Okay, so this is the front view. Here we got the windscreen, a lot of lights, windscreen wipers, the grille, and the bumper, and I think 2 more indicators, and the indicators. And here you could place a license plate if you have to place a license plate in the front. It's not necessary in New Mexico, so in Breaking Bad this vehicle doesn't have a license in the front. Oh, and here are more lights. Okay, now the other side. It's not so easy to handle this giant with just one hand. Well, another mirror. And oh, we can even look inside the cockpit, I think. The windscreen looks a bit dirty. There are some of my fingerprints on there. But you can see that those pieces are absolutely fine. We can look through them inside the vehicle. Okay, then on this side we don't have any door. Only a lot of windows and indicator. Let's open this hatch. What's inside here? I'm not quite sure what this is. I think maybe it's the generator. And this might be fresh water, I guess. And this is just some storage room. We find there bottles and stuff like that. This seems to be some cables or some hoses, I don't know. Probably more plumbing stuff, or maybe, I don't know, something of the fuel system. I have no idea. What's up here? I can't say. Maybe this has to do something with gray or black water. Or maybe it's even you put the fuel hose in here. I have no idea. Or maybe it's just for a power cord or something like that. Sadly, I really have absolutely no knowledge about caravans, even so I have seen thousands in my life, but I have entered only a few. And yeah, this looks like more storage room with some hoses or cables or whatever. Okay, then what haven't we seen yet? Oh, the back side, of course. Here we got the rear bumper, more lights, and the license plate, which I added, which wasn't part of the set. Here, if I had a better light, we could have a look inside the vehicle once again. More lights up here, and the ladder to get up the roof. And I think this is quite cool because it's really curved like we can see on the real vehicle. This is well done. Okay, now let's have a look at the roof. What we find here, I guess, those are the air conditioning boxes up on the roof. I have no idea. Yeah, I guess that's AC. And there's some other exhaust for ventilation or whatever. I have no idea. And here we got a little window. Okay, now I'm turning the whole build to its side so that we can have a look on the underside. I will need 2 hands for this. I'll be right back. So, on the underside we get to see the powertrain. We can even turn it, I think, if we want to. Oh, this doesn't work so well. Let me use this hand. Yeah, it does turn. And here in the back we got the exhaust pipes. And I think it's quite cool that like the real vehicle, in the back we got 2 wheels on each side, and on each side 1 in the front. And well, there is not much more to see on the underside, so let's get this thing back up on its wheels once again. Since the vehicle is back up on the right side again, we can have a look at the awning now. So as I said before, we have to slide it out here. When we remove the roof, we can see how it is actually stored. So you can see that these huge tiles here simply cover up all this area here. And yeah, when we slide it out, it looks like this. But you can also see that it now interferes with the space where normally the roof should be. You can see that it is in an angle here. So when we normally have the roof up here, you can see that it occupies the space. We can't interlock the roof again, which means we have to adjust the angle here a bit. And I think this is even how it is supposed to be, because it's not a playset, it's just a display set. So to do that, we have to change how much of these bars is visible here. We want to get way more visible bar like this. We also have to do this on the opposite side. Right, this looks fine. And as soon as we got the awning, without an ankle parallel to the floor, then it shouldn't be any problem to put on the roof again. Yep, that worked just great. Okay, but now let's have a look inside the vehicle. It's the vehicle how we saw it in Breaking Bad, so that means there isn't much of the original interior left. It's just, a meth lab. So, on this side here, we get to see a lot of these chemistry things, whatever. Here, gas. A lot of tubes and so on. And I also like that we got those curtains in the background. Here are some little, I think, cupboards or something like that. Inside there we will find cups. And there's just a lot of stuff going on. Let me turn this thing around. On the other side, there's even more to see. By the way, I really like how these tubes were placed here. This looks just great. Okay, on this side, that's the side with the door. We get to see some tools, I guess. What is this? A radiator or something. More gas. Cooling box, a lot of cans, the table, and I like how this little lamp here is done. It looks a bit like the lamp from Pixar. And also this fan here is quite cool. There's just a lot of stuff going on. And also here we got more cupboards. I think, are there also cups inside? It's not so well visible. There's something inside, I can't say what it's supposed to be. And there's still some stuff from the original interior, I guess. These lamps here in the back. And also here in the front. A lot of boxes. And here we can open this hatch here. And down there, I guess this is supposed to be money. I'm not sure. Those might be dollar bills, but I can't say. There isn't any print, so it's not like with the Lego dollar bills, but since those are green 1x2 tiles, I just guessed that this is supposed to be money. And have a look at this chair. This is a cool building technique. There's a lot of stuff going on. That's cool. All right. Then I want to show you something here in the front. I'm not quite sure how to show you this because I can barely reach it, I fear. Let me turn around the vehicle a bit like this. And maybe when you look through the windshield, it's a bit more visible. How can we do this? Okay, so we got... that's better. We got these two chairs here, the driver's seat and a seat next to it. And when I raise the armrests like this, we can open this hatch here. And now we can have a look at the engine. Yeah, it's not so easy to get some light in there. But yeah, there's not too much to see, just a neat little engine. You could see it during the building process. Alright, then just let me reassemble everything and then I will come back to you. Oh, by the way, I really don't like that we got these huge injection marks on those huge tiles, but Lego does it too and I really don't like it. They should have used another position for that injection mark on the underside, for example. That would have been way better. Alright, I have put the roof back on, as you can see. There is something else about the awning that I'd like to mention. BlueBrixx released a product video on their YouTube channel about the set, and there you could see a pipe below the awning. So you can see we got here a bit of pipe and here a bit of pipe, but in the BlueBrixx video the pipe was continuously going from this end to the other end. But it didn't look good in that video. It was sagging very much, so there was a big gap between the pipe and those gray plates here, at least in the middle of the whole thing. And yeah, I guess they noticed that it simply doesn't work as they wanted it to work, and so they left it out. At least they deleted the corresponding steps in the instructions, I guess. But it seems that they already had produced the set, because we got all these pieces here left over. Well, we got even more pieces left over, but these are all the pieces which seem to have belonged to that pipe. And yeah, you can see that we got a lot of pins and these things here, and I have assembled a few of those, and then you can imagine how the whole thing would have looked like. Just like this from one end to the other, and here in the middle there was just this huge gap and it looked strange. Yeah, I guess they already have produced the set, that's why we get all these things, and just after the production they noticed that it doesn't work, and so they deleted the corresponding steps in the instructions, but we still get the pieces. But it's always better to have too many pieces than missing pieces. Well, for several evenings I had very much fun with assembling the set. This mobile lab just looks great. It wasn't an easy build, but it wasn't too difficult either, so I think everyone with a bit experience with building bricks should be able to assemble the whole thing. The brick quality was absolutely fine. The bricks are of worse quality than Lego bricks, but they absolutely do the job. The only thing which I don't like so much about those bricks is that many of the bricks come with these huge ugly injection holes on the studs. There are also many pieces which have quite okayish injection holes. You can see it's not an injection hole, it's only an injection point, this mark here, but that's fine. But these crater-like holes are just ugly to look at. Luckily, almost everything is covered here, or better said, almost all of the studs are covered, so we don't get to see too many of those ugly holes. Another thing is that once again BlueBrixx used a lot of pieces which are still protected by the Lego company, but since BlueBrixx does this all the time and Lego doesn't seem to interfere, I guess that BlueBrixx does have some deal with the Lego company and they are allowed to use these pieces. I really like how the set looks like. It's absolutely cool, but there are some things which I don't like so much. For example, how the front part here is connected to the rest of the vehicle. We got, this gap here. It simply doesn't look so nice. And also here the door got this rim, but here's a gap where we don't have any tile or something like that. It just looks a bit strange. And another thing is that we used a lot of these masonry bricks, as you can see. On the outside it looks great because these masonry bricks on this side got these lines. But when we have a look on the inside, there we get to see the normal masonry pattern. And it just looks a bit strange in a caravan because normally there aren't any bricks in a caravan. But from the outside it looks totally fine. Oh, by the way, there's something which I forgot to mention. Inside, there went off the bumper of the backside. It's somewhere on the floor, we'll have to look for it later. Here on the inside, have a look at this little fire extinguisher. I really like the building technique for this. It just looks amazing. That's great. Well, there were only minor errors in the instructions. The build is a bit too fragile to play with, but as a display model, it is absolutely sturdy enough. I had very much fun assembling it. I guess this is something for every Breaking Bad fan who also loves bricks.